Physical Activity Changes the Future by Kim Hunt. In my 23 years of teaching physical education, I've seen big changes. Many educational changes have been for the better, but many have lost focus on the whole child. I've seen kindergarten shift from half day to full day because of increasing standards. I've seen communication change from person to person talking or home telephones to email, cell phones, Twitter, Facebook, and much more. I've seen screen time change from one household TV to multiple phones, iPads, game consoles, computers, and more. I've seen sedentary activity change and increase at a high rate. According to the Physical Activity Council, Americans who are completely sedentary or inactive are on the rise, increasing from 70.4 million in 2007 to 82.7 million in 2014. That's an increase of 12.3 million sedentary people in only 7 years. I've seen standardized testing change. We can't assess our way to academic excellence, says Carvalho of Miami-Dade School System. I've seen mental health change. Research by the mental health charity Young Minds has found that exams are a significant trigger for mental illness in young people. Under pressure to get the best possible results, schools are inclined to give teenagers the impression that they have only one shot at tests that will determine the rest of their lives, even though this is not true. The anxiety transmits itself to parents, and this, according to Julie Lycott-Hames, former dean of freshmen at Stanford and the author of How to Raise an Adult, is having a direct impact on young people's mental health. As parents strive to maximize their children's accomplishments, seeing them as an indication of their own value. And then there's the internet, which has grown up at the same time as the explosion in teen mental illness and is often seen as part of the problem, with cyberbullying and worries about body image created partly by a selfie culture, often cited as triggers. I've seen food portions change. Between 1977 and 1996, portion sizes and energy intake increased for mostly all key foods. Health of Americans has declined and obesity has soared. I've seen obesity levels change. According to the CDC, the percentage of children with obesity in the United States has more than tripled since the 1970s. Today, about 1 in 5 school-aged children, ages 6 to 19, has obesity. This map of the United States demonstrates 4 color codes according to the percentage of high school students who are obese by state. There are 11 states reporting obesity levels of 15 to 19%. I've seen recess change. The Center on Education Policy report from February of 2008 states schools have become so overwhelmed with the demands of No Child Left Behind that they were determined to help increase test scores year after year. Because of this fact, schools cut recess and other recreational activities in order to spend more time focused on math and reading. I've seen physical education change. There has been a decline at all grades. According to the CDC 2013, less than half, 48% of high school students, 64% of ninth grade students, but only 35% of 12th grade students attended physical education classes in an average week. The percentage of high school students who attended physical education classes daily decreased from 42% in 1991 to 25% in 1995 and remained stable at that level until 2013. In 2013, 42% of ninth grade students, but only 20% of 12th grade students attended physical education class daily. What can we do to impact this change? The children of the United States deserve an education that will help them battle the challenges to enjoy a healthy, happy life. Schools are making strong efforts to meet the many standards expected to ensure our children are graduating from high school with the ability to be responsible adults, but they are missing a key component. That's right, physical activity. How can physical activity make a difference? John F. Kennedy said in the early 60s, physical fitness is not only one of the most important keys to a healthy body, it is the basis of dynamic and creative intellectual activity. Roman philosopher Cicero from 46 BC said, "It is exercise alone that supports the spirits and keeps the mind in vigor." The youth of today are facing a lot of big challenges. The American Heart Association recommends 60 minutes of activity every day to enjoy the many benefits. The benefits of exercise and activity will make the change in our youth for the better. According to the Mayo Clinic, benefits of exercise includes maintaining healthy weight, reducing the risk of disease, strengthen bones and muscles, improve mental health, reduce injury, and improve sleep. According to a study done at the University of Illinois, regular physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, improves mood and mental alertness, which is proving to have a strong relationship between physical activity and academic achievement. These two brain images, taken from the top of the head, represent the average amount of students' neural activity during a test following sitting, and the other is walking for 20 minutes. The color blue represents lower neural activity, while the color red denotes higher brain activity in a given region. According to Active Living Research, immediately after just one session of physical activity, children can increase their attention and memory and reduce inappropriate behaviors, such as being unfocused and causing others to become distracted. Everyone knows that regular exercise is good for the body, but exercise is also one of the most effective ways to improve your mental health. Regular exercise can have a profoundly positive impact on depression, anxiety, ADHD, and more. According to the Department of Sport and Recreation, a review of current literature indicates that people who participate in sports clubs and organized recreational activity enjoy better mental health, are more alert, and more resilient against the stresses of modern living. If we are truly going to make a change in physical activity for increased time, it must be done in school. American elementary children spend an average of 943 hours in school each year, and secondary students spend an average of 1,016 hours each year. According to the Institute of Medicine, students should be doing at least 60 minutes of vigorous or moderate intensity physical activity at school, with more than half of the activity occurring during regular education hours and the remaining amount before and after school. The 2014 United States Report Card on Physical Activity is bleak. This is the second distribution of this report from the National Physical Activity Plan Alliance. This tool provides a level of accountability and call to action for adult decision makers regarding how we as parents, teachers, health professionals, community leaders, and policymakers can help implement new initiatives, programs, and policies in support of healthy environments to improve the physical activity levels and health of our children and youth. So now you're wondering, how are we going to increase physical activity time in school? There's limited funding and it seems impossible. Fortunately, according to NASPE, the National Association of Sport and Physical Education, there are a lot of researchers and professionals who've been diligently working to figure out a course of action. We know policy is important for codifying, sustaining, and providing accountability for efforts to infuse physical activity into the school setting. However, in drafting policy language, it is often necessary to make tough decisions between what is best practice and what is realistic for a given school, district, or state. This tool is a policy continuum, and it aims to address the problem of minimal physical activity by identifying meaningful steps along a path toward optimal policy. The continuum is divided into sections based on the 5 components of a comprehensive school physical activity program. As mentioned earlier, there are 5 components in a comprehensive school physical activity program, otherwise known as a CSPAP. Through the University of Northern Colorado, there is a master's program to guide physical educators, like myself, to lead others and implement CSPAP in schools. Shape America provides an overview of the components and suggested ways to implement this program. The first part is physical education. This is an academic subject and serves as the foundation of a CSPAP. Physical education provides students with a planned, sequential K-12 standard-based program of curricular and instructional design to develop motor skills, knowledge, and behaviors for healthy, active living, physical fitness, sportsmanship, self-efficacy, and emotional intelligence. Physical activity before and after school provides opportunities for all students, including those with special needs, to practice what they have learned in physical education, work toward the nationally recommended 60 minutes of daily physical activity, to become more adequately prepared for learning, engage in safe, social, and supervised activities, and identify activities they enjoy and might engage in long term. Physical activity during school includes physical activity in a variety of settings. Throughout the school day, besides the requisite physical education instructional class, the main ways students can participate in physical activity during the school day are recess, physical activity integrated into the classroom lesson, physical activity breaks in and outside the classroom, and lunchtime club or intramural activities. Family and community engagement in school-based physical activity programs provides numerous benefits. When families are active together, they spend additional time together and experience health benefits. Parents, guardians, or other family members can support a CSPAP by participating in evening or weekend special events or by serving as physical education or physical activity volunteers. Lastly, staff involvement in the CSPAP and support for school employee wellness and leadership training contribute to the overall culture of physical activity at a school. School employee wellness programs improve staff health, increase physical activities level, and are cost effective. School staffs are committed to good health practices as role models for students and may show increased support for student participation in physical activity. Teachers and other school staff members can integrate physical activity into classroom academic instruction and breaks and support recess, intramurals, and other physical activity offerings. It's time to change the future of our youth with physical activity. So, let's change.